11 inventions from the 1940s that are still relevant. 1. Color television. The idea of the color TV was born in the 1920s. In fact, the first color system was developed in 1928, but it was a purely mechanical demonstration. In the early 1940s, CBS and Peter Goldmark made a breakthrough. They transmitted an image in each of the 3 primary colors. By the 1950s, color TV had found its way into people's homes. 2. Aerosol Spray Can. The spray can was created by the Department of Agriculture. It was the brainchild of 2 researchers, Lyle Goodhue and William Sullivan. They were looking for a means to kill malaria-carrying bugs. The first aerosols were insecticides for the military. 3. Duct tape. The modern version of duct tape was invented in 1943. It was created by factory worker Vesta Stout. Stout needed a waterproof tape to seal ammunition boxes. Her invention was an adhesive tape with duct cloth backing. 4. Flu vaccines. Scientists began to isolate flu viruses in the 1930s. In the 1940s, the U.S. Army chipped in. The Pentagon sponsored the development of a vaccine. The U.S. approved the first flu vaccine for military use in 1945. It was approved for civilian use a year later. 5. Jeep. In 1940, the U.S. Army needed a new kind of vehicle. They set a deadline of 49 days to supply a working prototype. After extensive testing, Willys Overland won the bid. The Willys Jeep became the standard Jeep design. The first vehicles cost $648.74. 6. Pressurized cabins. Flying at high altitudes used to require oxygen masks. These masks were bulky and uncomfortable. The B-29 bomber was introduced in 1944. It was the first plane with a pressurized cockpit and nose. A shaft led along the ship to the unpressurized launch bays. This invention later made commercial flights possible. 7. Computers. The first programmable electromechanical computer was the Z3. It was designed by Konrad Zuse in Berlin in 1941. Zuse used it to perform analyses of wing flutter. The first programmable electronic computer was ENIAC. It was also built in the 1940s. ENIAC was used to calculate artillery firing tables. 8. Aqualung. In 1943, Jacques Cousteau and Émile Gagnon created new diving gear. They called it the Aqualung. It was a demand regulator that automatically created air when the diver breathed. All subsequent scuba diving designs were based on it. 9. Video games. The first video game was invented by physicist Thomas Goldsmith Jr. In 1947, he patented a game based on radar displays. It was called a cathode ray tube amusement device. A cathode ray tube was connected to an oscilloscope. It used light trajectories to create the effect of missiles being fired at targets. 10. Microwave oven. Microwaves were discovered by engineer Percy Spencer. He was experimenting with a magnetron. A chocolate bar in his pocket melted. Spencer noticed it and experimented with popcorn and eggs. He filed a patent for the first microwave oven in 1945. 11. Dialysis machine. This invention was initially known as the artificial kidney. It was built in 1943 by Dutch scientist Willem Kolff. He wanted to treat kidney failure by cleaning the patient's blood. Kolff continued to improve on his concept until it became viable.